Alright guys, welcome back to another crazy croc fishing video. It's been a minute. Today we're going to be doing a review of my fishing kayak, Lifetime Teton. I got at Dick's Sporting Goods a year ago. So I've fished this kayak for a year now here in North Carolina. And I've caught reds and trout and striper and bass and shad and pretty much most of the species around here that you can catch. With it, I also took it into the ocean once and dropped the bait when we were shark fishing. So I did do that once. So I got a pretty good grip on the idea of how the kayak handles in different various situations. So here it is. So having kayak fished for a few years in Florida, and then I sold the kayaks I had down there, I'll tell you what drew me to this kayak versus other kayaks. One, it's a sit on top and not a sit in. And two, the seat, because I've took 3 or 4 hour fishing trips, and if you don't have a nice seat like this, it will hurt your back and gets very old quick. So those are two must-haves in my opinion for a kayak. And the price also is under $500, and that's a great price for a sit on top kayak with a seat like this. And I did a lot of research on it before I bought it, not this kayak specifically, but just kayaks in general and what their prices were. So I was targeting something under $500. So basically, with buying a life vest and a paddle, which did not come with it, it put me at $500 for this whole setup. Now I've done some modifications and stuff to it minimally, but in general, those are the two only major things that I had to get besides the kayak to go ahead and get out on the water. So one of the first things I did, since I'm taking pictures of my fish and stuff, is I added a old phone holder I had from my truck on there, and I just screwed that in and then taped over top of it. So that way I can take pictures and videos of my fish when I catch them. That was probably the first modification that I did. I also added scupper plugs. I got these just like a week ago actually, and it just keeps the water from coming up in, especially when you're fishing and it's cold. That definitely makes a difference. In the summer it doesn't really matter, but during the winter it does make a difference when it's cold. The other thing was a crate, and I have mine pretty much I just use it to hold my bag, which has all my fishing stuff in it, which, to be honest with you, I feel like the least amount of stuff you can take with you when you're kayak fishing, the better. So I'll go ahead and open this up right now and I'll show you what I take with me. I take this, that's my lures, and a lot of times I stick that right here underneath my seat like that and wrap this around it. And I have that there. And the only other thing I have in here is a scale, and it's got a measuring tape on it and a pair of big pliers. And I also have a first aid kit in here in case I cut myself. That's literally all that I take as far as gear goes in the kayak. I mean, you can see I literally don't have anything else in there. I have these little rod holders built in to add extra rod holders. It comes with 2 flush mounted already. But one of the problems that I ran into is, one, I'm doing brackish or saltwater, and in the brackish and saltwater, your reel gets all wet when you're paddling. The water splashes up on your reel. It's not good for your reel to be in the saltwater like that. Kind of gets in the way of your paddle at times because it's so close to where you're sitting. So what I like to do is I like to put my rods up here, and that way they're completely out of the way but still accessible to me if I see some fish or something like that. So those are pretty much the only modifications that I've done. I did take off the front handle to lift it up, and the reason why I did that is because when you're throwing lures with treble hooks, they'll get caught up in that. I'll show you the one on the back. The one on the back has this little rope, and that little rope will catch your treble hook. And if you're on the water and you have to climb from here all the way up there to unhook your treble hook, it's really, really a pain. You pretty much have to land the kayak, get out, and do that. It's pretty much impossible to do from the kayak on the water. Well, one of the other things with the kayak is that it's pretty stable. So it's 30 and a half inches wide, which is not very wide, but I've stood up in it multiple times, and I've actually even thrown a cast net from it. And that was kind of sketchy, not gonna lie, but it definitely was able to handle me doing that. And I have pretty good balance, so maybe not the average person could do it, but you definitely can be done. The weight capacity on it is 275 pounds. So with all your gear and stuff, that's, shoot, I'm probably at maybe 250, 225 with everything that I have on it, including myself. So that isn't really a problem for me. The kayak is really light. It's 53 pounds. So when you're trying to transport it, if you have to carry it a distance or something, you really don't need like wheels unless it was a long distance. I've had a couple guys carry it, or I've even just lifted the whole thing up and carried it myself. So it can be done. So kind of in review, I absolutely love this kayak, and for a paddle kayak, it does everything I need it to do. And one of the beauties of kayak fishing is that you can fish a lot of the same water that people are fishing with boats, and you can get to a lot of places you couldn't to by land, and you can change locations. And in doing so, if there's guys that are paying $5,000, $10,000 for a boat, and then they have to put gas in it and they get skunked, I mean, you invested all that money and time in it and you didn't get a return. Now with the kayak, you basically pay the price once and you can use it a lot longer. It's a lot more cost effective. And that's why I love it. And I also love just going out there and being on the water in the kayak. It does not get better than that. It's perfectly quiet. You don't have a motor running or anything, and you can actually see what the fish are doing or what's going on, and you can get to all kinds of great areas and catch the same exact fish that people are spending all that money on their boats for from your kayak. And it just takes a little bit of time and dedication to figuring out where those are. And like I said, I've caught most of the species, the inshore species here in North Carolina last year. And I'll go ahead and put at the end of this video, I'll go ahead and put a bunch of clips of me fishing out of the kayak and different fish that I've caught and the videos I've made. But if you guys like this video, go ahead and leave a comment and go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.
Oh man, I knew this was gonna happen eventually. I am 99% sure that this is a nice red. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh no, it's a nice, it's a huge trout. It's a huge freaking trout, bro. Holy crap, he's barely hooked. He is barely hooked. Oh man, I really hope I can land this guy. Topwater trout, topwater red. It's been a topwater day today. Come on. Oh, he ain't done yet. He ain't done yet. I'm gonna really hope the second topwater one's on video.
Crushed the top dog. Crushed it. Crushed it. Nice red fish.
Oh yeah. Let's go, baby. Topwater. We slapped it. This is a nice fish. It's a nice fish, man. Oh, it's a nice striper. I've been trying to catch one of these for a while. Daggone.
Absolutely choked that bait. That's a Rapala skitter walk right there. Just working this bridge. That's all we were doing. Oh man, are you kidding me?
Oh gosh.